I had an experience recently that just kind of smacked of liberalism to me. It was over the holidays, and I had an ear infection, and I couldn't fly, and my head was going to explode. That wasn't very well. So I went to a clinic in Palm Springs, California, and they're filling out all the forms so I can see a physician, right? And she goes through all these questions, and she said, do you own a firearm? I looked at her and said, excuse me? And she said, do you own a firearm? And I said, I'm not going to answer that. What kind of a dumb question is that? She said, well, it's on our list. You have to answer it. And I said, I'm not going to. She said, well, then you can't stay here. And I said, are you kidding me? I've already been through the insurance thing, and now I have to tell you if I want a gun or not? She said, well, do you or not? And I said, I do. She said, okay. And then the next question, have you ever been abused? Don't. I looked at her and I started to laugh. I said, what? I said, look at me. I'm an old guy. I'm in my 60s. And you're asking me if I've been abused? Are you kidding me? I'm here with an eye infection. My eye hurts. My ears hurt. That's it. Everything else is okay. And she said the same thing. You have to say yes or no, or you can't see the doctor. I said, well, you're abusing me. Now you're abusing me. I said, okay, I'm not abused, and I haven't abused anybody recently. Let me see the doctor. But I finally got to see the doctor. They do walk among us. I mean, rule after rule after rule. What's that got to do with the price of tea in China? Nothing. But they continue to be themselves. I mean, the liberal agenda is reaching everywhere, into every professional place, and other places too in our system. I don't, maybe the 7-Eleven stores have forms like this too. I mean, it's bizarre, but that's what's going on. In Canada now, you have carbon pricing going on, and the politicians are saying, hey, you guys, you gotta pay us now, but don't worry, it's really not you that's paying us. But it is, it's every Canadian that's paying, but don't worry, it's really not you, as I've already said, because it's really big oil. It's the guys who are doing the polluting. We're going to make them pay. But again, that's not how it works. You go to the gas pump, and all of a sudden that extra price, it goes to the person putting the gas in their car. And these guys, they got this thing, you know, they've taxed something that's never been taxed before, and it actually doesn't even exist. Global warming, carbon tax, I mean, really? I mean, what is up with that? And most people think it's okay because they haven't had anyone explain to them that the facts that they think are factual don't exist. Okay, they just don't exist. Ordinary citizens are paying because the government demands that they do, because the citizenry demands goods and services to go along with the payment of it all. Straight talk, I mean, come on, how about some straight thinking? Now let's stay in Canada for a while and talk about guns a little bit. Recently, with the massacre memorial that is held every year with regard to the 14 women who were murdered in Montreal in 1989, the Prime Minister had a ceremony, again, like they do every year, and he was flanked by female members of Parliament only, no men, and only female MPs, and he laid a white rose on the ledge of the Centennial Flame, and that was meant, of course, to stir our emotions, and for the most part, that was effective. I mean, it works. And the female women MPs, each laid their white roses as well, and then they briefly stood up, and they were silent, and again, our emotions were stirred. It's very touching. But what's the spin on that? What's the political spin? Why is this particular tragedy? It's a terrible thing. I mean, our hearts go out to all of the people who are involved. I mean, it's a horrible thing. But what sets this one apart? I mean, there was 9 strikebreakers murdered September 18th, 1992 in the Northwest Territories. There's never been a ceremony or roses for them. There's been over 70 people killed in the last several years, horrific acts, and there's been 9 people that were murdered in Vernon, British Columbia in 1996. They were gunned down in cold blood. There's so many other examples, but our self-proclaimed feminist Prime Minister has selected this particular tragedy because it fits the narrative of his misguided feminist agenda. That and gun control, people control, right? He wants to make sure that everyone knows how bad this one particular instance was, when in fact there's all kinds of instances. And what he's missing, telling Canadians, is the guy that did the bad thing in Montreal, he was a Muslim. It was a terrorist act, first and foremost, okay? His real name was Gamil Gabaruda, something like that, the son of an Algerian immigrant. And our Prime Minister, though, grandstands, and well, you know what? It's hard to even put all the words in place for this, because it's a tragedy. And gun control and this and that, all from an incident that Well, he's mixing apples and oranges. Hey, you all come back tomorrow and leave us a comment with your comments on our Facebook page, on our website, to do with this incident and other incidents too. But this one is particularly emotional, and the big question again is why only this one tragedy? What about all of the other tragedies? Bus accidents, drunken accidents. There was a guy here recently that killed 4 people in Toronto. He was drunk and driving a car. What about that? Can we put, it was a red Porsche, I think, can we put red roses down or white roses? Come on. I mean, this seems out of place. Hey, see ya.